Right.
Or look at OJ. I mean, he really didn't remember. You look at him on TV, and the guy just blacked like 80. I saw him once on TV afterwards, and there was definitely something missing from the guy's mind.
Well,
Because he was capable of doing it, and that whole chase thing, and then I'm really, I'm really convinced that the guy had like some gaps in his mind, and it's like absolute black blank
30
spot.
years of cocaine, but he knows what he. I mean, you know, did you ever see the pictures of that? He basically severed her head. And the interesting thing is that there is still, obviously, it's that one girlfriend who looks like her, but there's still a lot of people who. I mean, obviously, apparently, people, when it comes to a restaurant, a lot of people say get out or they leave, whatever. But obviously, there are also a lot of people who still deal with him.
Of course.
I guess.
He still has the pension, which is not touched.
Right, I know.
That's what he's looking for, the murderer.
And in Florida, they can't take your house or anything on the civil cases. Yeah, they can't take your real estate. That's why he moved to Florida.
Apparently the gold man.
He's looking for the murderer on a golf course.
I'm sure they haven't gotten anything.
He's hiding in the 18th hole. That's like that line. That's like the line I gave Harvey Keitel in Bugsy, where he says, because Bugsy says he stole the thing. He said, if I had stolen it, you know, then I still wouldn't have. But it's. But the interesting thing to me is those kids. What's happened to those kids? Because how weird must it be to grow up knowing that your father beheaded your mother? You know, that reminds me that there was a great jockey named Chris Antley who won the Kentucky Derby, won the race. He's a phenomenal
short
jockey.
guy, right?
Yeah, well, very good-looking guy actually, who was married to an ABC producer who was actually 7 months pregnant at the time. And Antley, in sheer talent, was the best jockey in the world. But he would get into coke binges, like another great jockey, Pat Valenzuela, and he'd be sparred. Only unlike Valenzuela and some other jockeys, Antley would always gain 30 pounds. So he'd get really depressed and out of shape. Then he'd have to take the weight off. At any event, yes, exactly. At any event, what happened was he was in rehab. He was only in his early 30s. In Orange County, the house in Orange County.
Yes, of course, I'm not sure where that one came from.
In rehab, a young kid who apparently was either the nephew of the DA or of a judge, but he was connected familially. All of a sudden, Antley is found dead in his house with blood on 3 walls in the foyer. And apparently the kid who was there with him said he tripped and fell down the stairs, but somehow his head must have ricocheted onto 3 walls. And no one talks about him. It was only about 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. And he was a sensationally talented and reckless jockey. He used to take chances nobody else took and would maneuver. I want to use him in a movie. He had a great look, and he was quite bright.
He won the Derby, right?
He won the Derby on a 35-to-1 shot.